Recent studies show that the leading cause of childbirth is pregnancy. So the Doom of Mokali is coming out tomorrow as I make this video. Just want to make a quick video on predictions and thoughts and whatever else that's going into it. Looking forward to seeing it. I'll quickly explain what the boss is when we look at the wiki here. So here's the wiki on Doom. People are going to call it the Doom or Doom for short. It's a delve boss. It gets harder as you complete more waves. It goes up to 8 waves, and then you can keep repeating wave 8, and that's the juice zone. That's where you're getting the best drop rate. The best way of getting the items is when you repeat wave 8, and then when you leave, you got to restart. So interesting to see. You're gonna have like different, like delve 1, delve 8, like all the different levels will be here with different stats and max hits and stuff like that. But yeah, I would say, so just looking at these question marks here, combat level, it's going to be pretty high. Probably go up as you go into different levels. Max hit, there's probably going to be a one-shot mechanic. And I've got pictures of footage of the Doom that we're going to jump into very quickly here. Obviously, it's going to be aggressive. I believe it's going to be poisonous because they say it's an insect demon. Insects are poisonous, usually, like they all are in-game, like Vespula and whatever else, like... attack style is probably going to use all of them. Attack speed is probably going to change based on the wave. It might be like a 6 tick and then a 5 tick and then a 4 and then a 3 and then a 2. Like it might get faster like that as it goes along. All the combat stats, like I don't know exactly what it'll be. Elemental weakness, it says there's no elemental weakness. It's going to be weak to Demon Bane, which they've already said. When are they going to add Insect Bane? Come on, they got to add Bane for everything, like Batman, you know what I mean? I think that kind of covers, yeah, it's probably going to be immune to poison venom, like everything. You can't bring a cannon, whatever else, yada, yada, yada. If you die, you can get your stuff back, and it's cheap for up to 20 times. The concept art looks friggin' cool. So right away from this concept art, I can see a couple of, I'm going to take the beige bar down there. I can see a couple of things. It's got a shield, full shield phase, for sure. That it's probably going to like hide from. This animation definitely is like, it's going to go into shield protective mode and zip around the arena, like burrowing. I'm certain. It even says burrowed right here and shielded right here. In terms of size, like, that's how big you are compared to it. So it will be scytheable, it looks like. But if you picture, and I know RuneScape doesn't work this way all the time, and I'll be disproven tomorrow. If you picture like how this works, like a scythe, it's 3x3, like you can't really hit that gap with a scythe. You kind of have to overhand swing. So I'm thinking it's not going to be very weak to slash. That wouldn't make sense. Like this big ass shield in the way. So I don't know. It's got 3 eyeballs here, like its head. I imagine as it opens the shield, if you can like poke it with a rapier or an ember light on stab or a noxious halberd, or maybe it's just range. Maybe it's just really good to use range to like shoot into the shield as it's doing that. I also wonder if they do mention this as well, that it takes inspiration from Muspa and Leviathan. I think there's going to be a certain thing that you can do to be able to hit it from behind. Like, its shield is on the front only. I imagine just like Leviathan, you're going to go around back and hit it from the back. Maybe that's where slash is useful or something like that. So that's kind of what I think. I think stab is going to be Biss here. We don't have a stab, mega rare or anything at this point. Like, really, like they could add like a new something like a stab variant of a scythe. I think they should. I made a video on that. I'll link it in the description. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for mechanics and like weaknesses and stuff like that. Actually, looking at this here, this is footage. You can see right at the top, it's praying mage and range, and this thing's praying melee. And it's like, this thing is walking towards, this little slug is walking towards the boss. Is insect repellent going to be best in slot here? Like, come on, are we going to have to wear like a bug cage or something like that? Like this little larva? This will probably, like, if it gets to it, it'll probably be birthed of some sort, or like, hatched. I don't know, it looks like it's eating this slug, and maybe a bug comes out of it. But either way, you're going to want to like kill this with range. It looks like, it's like a nibbler that goes to the boss. Is what it looks like. The next one here, you can see all this debris around, debris. it looks like a giant cocoon that something's come out of, and it scatters it around the arena, making it so you can't walk in certain spaces. Again, they said they took inspiration from Leviathan, and at Leviathan, it drops rubble that is permanent until the boss is killed. So I imagine that'll happen. Now, with the Colosseum, there's a underused invocation there, or whatever it's called, power up, power down thingy, that it like keeps the pool of lava from now until the end of the Colosseum. So you need to be very careful where you put them. I'm wondering if these come out randomly or every so often, and then maybe it caps at wave 8, or maybe it's permanent and it keeps putting more on wave 8 until there's nowhere to stand. Think of like the Kefri room as well, where it puts the poo on the ground. Could be good. And then this looks like a mage attack that it's shooting out, and from the video it is shooting it out and doing that. It makes no sense for a crush weapon. Like they're wearing a whatever, and wearing a Serp helm. I don't think this is gear that they'll be using. They used like a bit of everything, so I don't think the gear should be looked into much there. The only thing I think is like, with all this stuff around, like melee might be best, but it might be easier to range it. One thing that I really think, and I hope they do, is that the shield opens on a certain like timer, and if you attack it on the first tick that it's open, you get like bonus damage. So it becomes like a very timing based thing for max DPS. And I think the shield will open at different times on different waves. Like it might be open for 2 ticks, closed for 1, open for 2, like closed for 1. Or it might be open for 1 tick, closed for 2, which means a 3 tick weapon would be best, such as the new staff coming from it. You're getting a wand that's a 3 tick mage weapon. It would make sense. Also, every time they add something in Varlamore, they make the like Moons of Peril gear pretty good. I'm wondering if like the 3 tick Eclipse at Ladle is what they're trying to play into. Probably not. That's not an endgame item, and this is an endgame boss, but there might be like 3 tick is very good there. So maybe Swift Blade is good, but I don't know. 6 tick would also work if that's the case, where it's open for 1, closed for 2 ticks. Just something I thought about. This is another attack where the boss like slams its shield down on the ground, and you can see that it's open when it slams its shield down, so you might be able to hit it at this point, but all of this is like damage on the ground. These are like clouds of smoke, and you're in a shield. That definitely looks like a shield. So again, they took inspiration from Leviathan. I believe that is where you got to get into that before the boss does its shield attack, otherwise you probably just get one shot. That's what that looks like is going on there. Here's another view, another example from later in the footage that its shield is very, very open as it does its attack. So like this might be when you dump a ZCB spec, for example, like 100% accuracy or something like that. And then there's all of these little things around that are in the air. I'm wondering if this is kind of like skulls. Like they look like cocoons maybe. Like they're like bug cocoons. Like are they skulls from TOA where you can like hit 1, 2, 3, 4, like you can tag them all, and then as you kill them they turn into rubble. Maybe they're moving around as you hit them. A lot of stuff going on here. I look forward to figuring out what's going on. And then here's another view. Like it doesn't really look like cocoons from this angle at all. It just looks like things. But they look stationary. They look like they're part of the ground in this one. It doesn't look like they maybe float around. So hard to know. Hard to tell. That's what I think some of the mechanics are going to be. You can see there's a little gap in the shield. You can see there's a bigger gap in the shield at this point here and at this point here. So the shield is a huge, huge factor. Like it's only going to be certain parts where you can hit it and other times where you can't at all, unless maybe you're at the back, which is really cool. So back onto the drops. I wanted to say what I think the drops are going to be doing. The Avernic Treads, Tribrid boots, which can be further enhanced by adding the Cerberus boots. So those are going to be best in slot, very expensive and stuff like that. And my beige bar is to hide the ads on the side, by the way, and I keep forgetting. Oh well. I definitely think that these boots are going to be expensive, but I don't think they're going to be like 500 mil. I think people are going to get really good at this boss early because it's probably not that hard. They said it's like pretty challenging at wave 8, but it's more of like, how long can you last? Can you repeat wave 8 over and over again? I think the treads are going to be like a medium rarity for sure. I think the Mucky Hoidle cloth is going to be medium rarity too. Maybe like 100 hours drop rate for the cloth, 100 hours drop rate for the treads. The demon tears are like a consumable. That's going to be dropped every kill. But the eye is a 3-tick mage weapon. Strength comparable between the Sang and the Tunican Shadow. So the value of this should be between the Sang and the Tunican Shadow. Since it's 3-tick, it opens up a new niche for certain rooms, such as TOA room or the Nihilo room, things like that. I also think they always make these items best at wherever they come from, right? Like, surely this thing is just going to be weak to mage in certain phases where you want to use that 3-tick attack speed. And it's very powerful too. It's not like it's not like the little pokey boy that you buy from LMS, the Swift Blade. So it's actually got a lot of really good stats. So if the Shadow is a bill and the Sang is 100 mil, like this thing's probably going to be 300 mil. Maybe long term, maybe 200, maybe 500. Depends on the drop rate. Now, they made drop rates obtainable with Yama, whereas like Nex was really hard to get, and when they fixed Nex, they made him still pretty long to get. They did the same thing with the Nightmare, and they've been trying to fix Nightmare over and over again. I don't think they're putting drop rates in now that are extremely long. So I would say like the drop rate for this should be between the Sang and the Shadow. The Sang staff takes around, well, when you open a TOA chest, it's a 1 in 86 chance that it's a Sang staff. But if you're in a team of 3, you multiply that by 3. So if we do 86 times 3, 258 TOA for a Sang staff in a trio, assuming no deaths. And then if you divide that by 3 raids per hour, 20-minute regular TOAs, like 86 hours. So let's say it's 100 hours for a Sang staff. I imagine this thing should probably be a 200-hour drop rate. They should not make this eye be more common than a Sang staff if it's better than a Sang staff. Knowing Jagex, they will do that and then be like oopsie daisies. But either way, I think that'd probably be important. Maybe these are 100 hours. This is 100 hours, so 50 hours each. And then the eye is maybe a 200-hour grind. And the Shadow is like, 3 or 4 or 500-hour grind. Just a prediction on the drop rates and stuff like that. So otherwise, there's some things. When you get to level 8, you can repeat it as many times as you can before you leave, and you just keep stacking up loot. If you die, you lose it all. So what I'm thinking is people will be able to repeat Wave 8 12 times on the day of release, and then eventually people will be doing it up to 25 times. With just adding new metas and mechanics. There's probably going to be like world record, Mulgoat Kirby featuring, Dono Fly, featuring Google Fly, featuring No Monkey, and I don't know, like something like that is going to be going on, and people are going to be like, I set a new world record, and it's a 32 wave delve 8. I hope there's a high score or like a leaderboard for that. Like it'd be cool if you could look someone up and see how many times they've done wave 8. That would be what I'd put on the high scores. I don't think it's important for people to know like, oh, they've done 65 waves. Well, they could all be wave 1s. They did a Glory with the Coliseum. They did KC and they did Glory. So maybe they do 2 different high scores for it. I don't know. Let me know your comments below. That's what the comment section's for. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the content. Maybe drop a comment. Maybe like the video. Maybe tell your mom's boyfriend. Love you very much. We'll see you later. And one more thing before I end the video.